Hey guys, welcome back to another exercise compilation. This one is going to be going over low back pain and helps you understand based on how you're sitting what are some exercises, some stretches, some strengthening, some activation exercises that you can do to address your low back pain as a gamer. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Oh, and also check out our Patreon if you want to support us. But also you get early access to a lot of the content that we create. You can ask us questions, we answer those live. We also have an individualized health coaching tier where we can help you address any of your pain, have a plan to approach your wellness as well as your performance. So check that out. It's going to be in the description. Let's just get to the exercises. The first set of exercises we're going to be going over help address the impairments that we expect if you sit in a position of flexion where your lower back is rounded, your pelvis is tilted back posteriorly. So sometimes there's some hamstring stiffness, sometimes there's weakness in our lower back. Our psoas or hip flexor is lengthened and as a result is often weak. So a lot of the exercises are targeting some of those impairments and more. Okay, so the first two exercises that we're going to be doing help to provide general spinal mobility, but also work on strengthening some of the muscles of the lower back during the extension part of the movement, which I'm demonstrating right now. And then we go back into the rounded because we want to allow sliding in the facet joints or joints to the side of the spine because we are sitting for prolonged periods of time and often those joints become stiff. So the first one is that rounded, squeezing back, bringing your elbows back. And this is a similar one, but this time you're going to bring your arms all the way back, repeating that 10 times. And when you are bringing it all the way back, you're arching your lower back, really going into this pelvic tilt, coming forward and then rounding again. So these two exercises are actually helpful as a gaming break. So you can do this in between your games after every 2 to 3 games, depending on whatever you play, whether it be Fortnite, League, Valorant, CSGO. Every 1 to 2 hours, you can look to include this if you sit in that rounded position so that you can get your spine moving a little bit. All right, next up, we're going to be doing some stretches that target the hamstrings, but also your butt, because those often get shortened when we're sitting in that rounded posteriorly pelvic tilted position. So you want to stretch your hamstrings, and you can do that right in your chair. If you stand up, turn around, bring your left leg or either leg on the chair, bend forward until you feel it in your hamstrings. You can provide a slight bend at the knee to take out some of the possible nerve tension that you might feel if you're doing that with your knee straight. The second one is glute stretch, and be mindful here that I'm trying to keep my lower back arched so that I can sensitize the stretch in either of my butts, or as I mentioned there, the piriformis muscle. You want to do this on both sides for both exercises so that you can alleviate some of the stress on the lower back. Alright, for the next exercise, we're going to be strengthening our lower back. When we're in that position of flexion, our lower back muscles are lengthened and that makes it weaker. So we're going to be performing stiff leg deadlifts with a backpack. You can add textbooks or a dumbbell or anything that you want to weight or make the backpack heavier. Keep your legs stiff and then perform deadlifts 3 sets of 25 as I mentioned, helping to maintain this more upright posture when you're sitting. Next up, while this does say neck pain, it helps with overall mobility of the lower back, pushing all the way back, reaching and getting that full extension. Head up, neck up, lower back, just as shown in that extended position. Then we're doing the thread the needle, which will provide overall mobility of our spine. Again, it gets really stiff when we're sitting for long periods of time. When you are rotating up, that helps with a little bit of extension. Try them as break exercises, or at the end of the day when you have sat for a long period of time. These are effective to help get your spine moving a little more. Alright, next up we have exercises that target the impairments that we would expect if you sit in this extended position. That means your lower back becomes a little stiff, your psoas or the front muscle is a little stiff too. We got to stress that. Your abdomen doesn't work as well. Your butt is a little weak, so we got to address all of those in these exercises. All right, let's start with the really easy exercise. All you're going to be doing in your chair is stretching the muscles in your lower back as shown. You scoot to the edge, bring your feet apart, reaching down towards the ground. You can also bias each side, but you can see there you should be feeling it at your lower back right above your pelvis because those are the muscles that become stiff. Stretching each side 20 to 30 seconds 3 times between your games. And next up, you're going to be doing the hip flexor stretch. One of the most important stretches for your lower back. I'm sure you've seen this everywhere, but you can use your chair as well. Prop your knee up, have your knee bent. You should feel it in the front of your hip as shown where I point, and then you reach all the way up, extending, feeling it in the front of your hip. Alright, the next two exercises are going to be focusing on providing spinal mobility, but the underlying goal is to work on glute strengthening. So this is hip thrust with overhead mobility. There's definitely mobility for your mid back here, but as you are thrusting, you're squeezing in your butt, because when we are sitting in that extended position, our glute is lengthened, it's weakened, so we have to activate it to support our lower back. You're going to be doing 12 of these, and you can use a chair, you can use a couch as I did here. And then in the next exercise, I demonstrate what you can do if you're just on the ground. And first, I showcase what you can do to help with your upper body posture first. As you can see with this exercise, I'm in the hook lying position with my knee bent. The first exercise is focus on abdominal bracing and bringing your arms back. That will help with upper body posture. The second part of the exercise is the bridge, where we're again focusing on strengthening our glute, lifting our butt up toward the end of the range, squeezing at the top, and then repeating that for 15 times. Doing this again between some of the games, at the end of the day when you've been sitting for a long time. Those are all helpful times when you can do these two exercises. Next up, we have another exercise that will strengthen our core as well as work on our glute. You're in the plank position, lifting your leg up with your knee bent to activate your glutes. 2 sets of 10, something great that you can add on to a regular exercise program that you're doing. Then we're going to follow that up with some mobility of both your hips and your lower back. You're going to have your leg in that double bent position with one foot on top of the other to help rotate your lower back, but also stretch the front of that right hip. Now you're going to be stretching the front of the left hip, rotating your lower back towards the right. 2 sets of 12, great between exercise or between game routine. And then lastly, we have another gaming break routine, or something at the end of the day. You can reach down towards the ground, tighten your stomach as far as you can, feel it in your hamstrings and in your lower back. And then you're going to reach all the way up, get into full extension, allowing a lot of mobility for your spine and squeezing your butt. Another gaming break exercise. And that is all for the extension based routines. Okay, that is all, guys. Hope you guys learned a little bit more about why when we sit in certain positions we have to do different exercises to address the low back pain in gaming. Try some of these, let me know if it's helpful for you, and if there's anything else that you want me to go over to help you play more, hurt less, be a better gamer. And don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what else you guys want me to make content about. And another reminder, if you haven't checked out the Patreon, please check it out. Please support us. We survive with your guys' support, and hope you guys come back for another video. See you guys soon.